Good morning, Gold Creek. Welcome to day 5 of GC365. I'm so glad you could join us today. If you're just tuning in, I want you to make sure that you have the YouVersion Bible app downloaded on your phone. So do it before, you can pause the video or do it after, and then go find the 1-year Bible reading plan. And what I want you to do is not to hit catch me up because it will ask you that. And if you do catch me up, then your days are going to be kind of off. It'll start day 1 is today, whereas you want day 1 is January 1st. So I'm going to encourage you to just open it up, don't do catch me up, and then you'll be on day 5 with us. And then you can go back and reread to catch all the way up if you would like to. And there are, of course, videos to go along with that. But today, I want to introduce you to my co-host, Jordan. He is my brother. I'm Jacob. I run our creative department upstairs, so I do a lot of the videos and stuff. But my brother, Jordan, he is our tech director at Gold Creek.
Yeah, and I just want to point out the main reason he needs me is, you may have caught this, but you can't pause a live video. So if you're watching later, you can, but in the moment, you may have tried to hit your screen and hit pause. There's no pause. So please just download as we go. This is why he needs me.
This is why I need him. And so the funny part about this too is I do need him. But what I love to tell people, and I'll share this with you now, is technically, I believe I am his boss, which I love to rub in his face a little bit. I technically get to tell him what to do.
I like to think of myself as, like, if you imagine like a ladder, he's over here on this ladder, but I'm like maybe slightly below on this ladder, but we're on different ladders. That's my analogy. I don't know if it makes sense.
Technically, I get to tell him what to do. But anyways, just a fun little tidbit about us. We've been working at the church for 4 years together now in the same department. So it's really fun. I really enjoy that. So let's dig in. And we're going to start in Genesis 11 today. And this is one of the more interesting stories in the Bible for me, but I also find it fascinating that it's such a small part of Genesis, and that is the Tower of Babel. I can't imagine what it would be like for everybody to speak the same language. That would be so bizarre.
I'm going to pause there because it's kind of funny that we're in this kind of pivotal time. I have an example. He says, can you even imagine everyone speaking the same language? And I immediately thought, hey, Siri. Oh, Siri's listening to me. What if everyone spoke the same language in French? I think, according to
I hope,
according to Apple.
See, sometimes it doesn't work perfectly yet, but that's okay. But that's a great point. So I can't imagine what it'd be like back then to everyone spoke the same language, to God coming down and making everyone speak a different language. And then to we're at a point now to where technology is allowing us to basically communicate with each other without issue. So it's just fascinating to me that everyone could at the same time. We're kind of into that cusp again of that time period. One fascinating thing about that I had a question about was when God came down to make everyone speak different languages. And the reason that it's so interesting to me is God is almost talking to someone else when you read it in scripture. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. Basically, he says, look at all of these people speaking the same language. We need to break them up or else they're going to become all-knowing or something along that lines. And it's so interesting to me that, you know what, who could God have been speaking to at that time? Because he wasn't down on earth. He didn't seem like he was speaking to anyone on earth. So what could that have?
Yeah, and this is where my Bible school knowledge starts to kick in. I try to tie things in together.
Yeah.
But spoilers, I'm going to talk about the book of Job for a second.
That is coming up in your future.
Yes. In the book of Job, we also get the same scenario where God seems to have angels around him, where he has like a council, a courtroom where he actually interacts with other beings. He gets other opinions, and we get this also in the situation with Abraham, where Abraham talks to God and pleads with God, and God's like, okay, he's about to do something. Abraham pleads. He's like, okay, I'll wait. And then he works with the beings, the people. He works with us. He listens to us, and I think not that he's ever swayed from the right thing, but that he likes to be in community with us. He likes to
conversation.
He likes to involve us.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. I'm glad you went to Bible college because that's a great point.
It's an expensive Expensive fun fact right there.
So thank you for sharing. Okay, so that was kind of what stuck out to me, Tower of Babel. I love it. It's interesting. I'm sad that it only took up a little bit because there's so many questions about that civilization and what it was like then. But I'm going to jump forward to the next one, which is Genesis 12. Now, this chapter is really interesting to me because I feel like it can speak to everybody kind of in where they are in life. And this one's about Abram leaving his native country, uprooting his family, his lifestyle on a whim because the Lord called him to do it. And let's be real, he was there for a long time. He was 75 years old at that time period. Yeah. Could you imagine spending 75 years somewhere and then all of a sudden God's like, you need to go?
Not without FaceTime or the internet or text messaging where I can be like, bye, mom, dad, friends, family. And then across the world be like, hey, it's 3:00 here. Was it there? Oh, sorry, it's 1 a.m.
Sorry to wake you up.
Catch you in 8 hours. I don't know. Yeah. But back then, like, unless they had like a rock mail system where you roll in a rock, hey, it's all good over here.
Hand deliver
and in like a year they got it. They're like, oh, a year ago they were pretty good because I imagine it took a while for a rock to go places. But
yeah, no, that's crazy. It speaks to me in such it really speaks to me because it's so interesting that even though he spent so much time in this place and he was rooted here, God spoke to him and he went. And I think that can speak to all of us in that way, that we need to always be open to what God is going to be saying to us. And even though it might sound crazy and it might be totally out there, God ultimately has the goodness of our lives in the front. He's always looking out for that. And his plan is ultimately the best plan. And so I think that speaks to us, just always be listening, always be ready for God to give us the next thing, the next calling in our life. Yeah. And funny, so I just wanted to add this because I thought it was so interesting. At the end of the chapter, Abram accidentally brings down some unfortunateness onto Egypt by the way he acted. He went into Egypt, told his wife to pretend to be his sister, and because he was afraid the Egyptians would kill him and take her if they found out that she was his wife. But it ended up causing a whole bunch of problems over there. And the Pharaoh found out that it was his wife. And he's like, dude, why didn't you just tell us from the beginning? You need to leave because you are the reason all of this stuff is happening. So I just thought it was funny. Just
pause right there. I just want to clarify. We're very early into the Bible this year, but if you don't know this, it wasn't right for him to say it was his sister.
It definitely wasn't.
The Bible doesn't go, hey, this was right, this was wrong, this was right.
It has everything.
It's a story. It's not right just because it says that's what happened, but rather we need to use the rest of the Bible to decide. You probably shouldn't lie about who you're married to.
Yeah, no,
that might be a wrong thing.
But yeah, I just thought it was funny. It just kind of like throws it in there that he caused all these issues and then it moves on. All right, so that was kind of the stuff that stuck out to me for the Old Testament. Let's jump into the New Testament with Matthew 5. And Matthew is amazing. If you're going to read anything in the Bible, Matthew is fantastic. It has so many nuggets of great information from Jesus's mouth, really. And as you're reading through the one-year Bible, you'll see that everything highlighted in red in there is from Jesus himself. And so all of the red text is going to be right from him. So it's amazing to read. But one of the things that really stuck out to me for Matthew 5 was this bit of scripture, that we are a light on a hill and a candle that should not be hidden, that speak to us in our faith. We as Christians are called to be spreading the gospel, to be spreading this good news. And I really encourage you, if you're a longtime Christian or a new Christian in your faith walk with Jesus, I encourage you to share it with your friends and family. This is an easy way to share that, whether you share the feed or you read the one-year Bible, this plan with somebody, and you can talk about it, have these conversations like we're having about stuff that stuck out to you. It really is encouraging to do that with someone else, and that helps spread the gospel to other people. It ultimately is the good news that we're called to share with others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
subscribe, share.
Yeah, right.
There's somewhere, depends on your platform.
It's everywhere, but we encourage you to do that. One other thing that really stuck out to me was this quote from Jesus himself. Don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose. There were so many rules that they had back then. And I feel like sometimes they got skewed or corrupted a little bit and all these different things. And ultimately Jesus was not who everyone thought he was going to be, right?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about this. In a lot of situations, Jesus,
Yeah.
he wasn't totally to this side or totally this side. Like some people are like, oh, he's here to,
hmm
you know, the law and to make sure everyone's following the law. And then the other side's like, no, he's a warrior. He's gonna bring down the establishment and he's gonna start wars and stuff. But Jesus was like, the Bible. He talks about in the book of Isaiah. He's like, I'm here to accomplish what was said that I'm here to accomplish.
Yeah.
He
It's great.
he is here to fulfill the law and to make it so we are fulfilled through him.
hmm
He wasn't super far that way, super far that way. It's kind of this third option that he always seems to
That
take.
no one
It's
seemed to
not,
think that would happen,
yeah,
but it did.
yeah. It's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's super great. And I encourage you all through Matthew, everything in red, read through it, really dive into it because it comes from Jesus himself. And so it's so fascinating to be able to read exactly what he was saying then. But yeah, it's great. And then the last thing I want to touch on, and it's kind of funny. I'm glad I got this one because there's a few funny bits that really crack me up. This one was in Psalms, and I feel like I almost feel attacked a little bit because it hits me right in the heart. And I do this all the time. And I feel like you probably do, and everyone watching probably does. In Psalms 5, it says, "O Lord, hear me as I pray, pay attention to my groaning." And I feel like a lot of the times when I pray, it's because there's something wrong and there's something I need fixed. And it's just, I'm complaining and complaining. When in reality, it's okay to do that, but don't make it every time. Make some of your prayers celebrations, some things you're happy about, some things you're thankful for. When I drive to work, sometimes I say, Lord, thank you so much for the house I have, for my wife. Thank you so much for my family. And then you just leave it at that. So it's okay when you're down and you need help from the Lord to reach out and pray about that. But also, don't make it every time. I celebrate.
Yeah, and something me and my wife do is every night before we go to bed, we try to have we do our thankfuls, and
That's great.
we both say three things we're thankful for, and then the fourth one is always each other. So we say three things, and then we say
That's
we're
great.
thankful for you. And so
I love that.
I encourage you just before you go to bed, be like, I am thankful for these things. Do three
Yeah.
thankfuls a night, and
Yep.
it really helps change your attitude, helps you go to sleep. It just helps
That's
you.
great advice.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we're so thankful that you were watching this and going through this with us. Please leave a comment, reach out. If there's something funny that stuck out to you, if you have any questions, we are always here to answer those. Please comment in the comments below, wherever that is. We want to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in for today, and we will see you on the next one.